All right, dude. Thank you very much for doing the call. For everybody who's watching, this is Tyler Stafford, a recent graduate of the Hope men's tennis team as of literally a year ago. But this interview will be really cool, not just for me, but I think for all of you, because I'm spoiling a little bit of the surprise maybe, but he's back as one of our assistant coaches. So, like, when I could interview someone, this would have been really cool as someone who's just gone through the program and at least for a few years with me, and then coming back to kind of contribute even more. So, like, Tyler, thank you very much for agreeing to do this. I'm excited to hear all this stuff from you. So, I appreciate it.
Um,
But
yeah, of course.
the first thing I want to ask you is after graduation, how would you describe one, the job search and kind of that transition from student athlete to finding a job? And then what are you up to these days? Like, what was all that like for you?
Yeah, for me, all throughout my college career, I didn't get an internship. Most people try to get an internship between their junior and senior year that summer. I didn't end up doing that. I coached tennis at Hope still in their summer programs. For me, after school, it was tough for a while trying to find a job, trying to find a good fit. Luckily, with my connections at Hope, with playing tennis, I had a lot to fall back onto as far as, I was able to coach tennis for the summer, um, coach at my old high school too, coach at another college, and eventually end up at another club. Um, it was great, to have that experience with tennis, and I could fall back on that while I was still looking for a job. Eventually, I did recently find a job at Acrisure, so a little more related to my degree, full-time gig, but, it was I think being a college athlete, I think a lot of companies see that, especially while interviewing. A lot of companies nowadays are looking for strong work ethic, and I think being a college athlete shows that. It shows time management skills, being able to balance, your course load and practicing, and also, having that drive to go out there every day and practice and compete. I think that can translate into a professional career too.
For sure. Yeah. And I think it's cool how at a place like Hope, what you talked about, being able to either fall back on or just like continue being a part of the sport as you search for what you're gonna do is like that opportunity is really cool. And I think very specific to Hope, honestly, not too many places out there like that. So no, that's
Yeah.
great. How active are you? How do you play a lot still? How would you describe that?
Yeah, I mean, I play quite a bit still. I do a couple of USTA leagues. Um, I do two of them. Play a lot of weekends. I have a group of guys I hit with 8 to 10 on Wednesdays. With the team, like ideally, being able to go to some practices, hit in, is nice. So I really like staying active in the sport. I didn't really get burned out from playing in college, which is something that I loved because I felt like at some other schools, like I might have gotten a little more burned out and lost a little drive for the sport. But I really still have that, and I love playing. I love still trying to get better with the sport.
Yeah. It'll be fun for you as you kinda now you assist us, and we'll throw you in there and see if you can get it going a lot as you get as you age here, we'll say. But no, that's great. That's awesome. Um, Now that, you've gone through at least a little bit of being out from Hope, a few months, we'll say, but, like, if you could look back, this will be good because it's kinda fresh on your mind, like, if you could nail down, like, one of the most memorable experiences for you, like, what do you think you would nail it down to as a Hope student athlete?
For me, in general, it was all the trips that we took as a team. I'll always remember those, especially like spring break, going down to Florida, going to Orlando for a week. I will always remember that. Not, the tennis is a big part of it and playing is fun for me, but really the guys on the team, the community, the teammates, the friends, um, so big for me. I'll always remember like getting back from like like junior year spring break, getting back. We had played 2 matches that day and we got back and we were just gassed. And I'll always remember us just like everyone just collapsing in the living room, turning on March Madness, watching some basketball.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
those kinds of experiences I'm gonna miss so much. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like just trying to appreciate, like looking back, like if I was if I was still playing, like I'd really try to appreciate and spend time and really just enjoy the moments with my teammates is the big thing
yeah,
for me.
yeah, that's huge, and it's really cool. I mean, literally, as yesterday, as we have a match, 3 of your former teammates show up too that all graduated with you, and so, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, getting to be around those guys again, I'm sure felt pretty great too, but you kinda gave a really great innuendo, honestly, into another good question in terms of, like, you've been through the whole student athlete experience, and then kinda what you just said, learning to kinda, like, almost slow down and kind of appreciate the moments while you're in them. But, like, that's a great piece of advice, I think, in and itself, but, like, I don't know, if you could think about your time and just, like, all that you did accomplish and went through, if you had, like, maybe a nugget of advice for a freshman or even just someone who's new to Hope, like, what would you go to, do you think, with that?
Yeah. Kind of going back to that, just enjoying the moments. I think now that I've been out of college, like, I've been playing a little bit, like USTA leagues and stuff like that, but none of that stuff it goes anywhere as close to like a college match. Like that experience, the energy, the intensity, the competitiveness, the camaraderie, all those things, you just don't see anywhere but in the college space. Um, and it's just enjoying all of those moments, those matches where you're playing and you got your team on the sideline cheering for you. Um, that's so special. And I think
Yeah,
hope, the environment we have here um, really encourages that. And it's something that'll stick with you for the rest of your life. I know I'll remember it. I've talked to alumni, um, from the 2007s, 2003s, like they still remember those moments of playing matches, going out after matches. Um, yeah, just really taking the time to enjoy those moments.
oh, yeah. I think we all kinda it's tough. Me included, and you've definitely heard me say this too, I think, from, like, the coaching angle of it all. It's just now I see y'all going through it, like, in all the time, every single day. Then you can't help but even while you're out there coaching sometimes think about, like, "Oh, man, I remember this," and, like, "I would totally do this different," and boom, boom, boom. So, no,
Yeah,
that's great. That's really good. But, I think a ton of just being a student athlete too, you've got so many people that kind of touch your life in just all kinds of different ways. A lot of the we've talked about teammates, which is probably the most. I'm not gonna say influential, but you're definitely around them probably the most out of anybody. But you got your coaches, obviously your professors, but like in
yeah.
your time at Hope, not including what would have been me, your head coach at the time, it could have been anyone else. Like, who were a few people involved in your entire, student athlete experience that really, guess, touched you and had a real impact on you?
Yeah, I think something really specific with hope. that I haven't seen at another college is our tennis center as a whole, the staff, at the tennis center as a whole. I had been playing, the summer camp I mentioned before at Hope. I started going to that in 8th grade, um, and the staff there, all of them have had just a massive impact on my life. They're the ones that, 8th grade, I was picking up tennis for the first time, and they're the ones that got me into the sport, and that ultimately led to me, you know, going to college at Hope, playing at Hope, and meeting my lifelong friends at Hope too. Um, the staff there is so incredible. Nate Price, Adam Ford, Jay Vanderlaan, yourself. Um, yeah, them, and then the athletic training staff at Hope too. All of them, whether it's, strength and conditioning, recovery, um, just the time they're willing to spend with you so that you can play your best. They really care. That's one thing that really comes across. Um, so yeah, they've had a big impact during my college career, but even before that and after that, it still had me an impact.
Yeah, I think it's funny, like what you described. I think people who tend to get maybe a tad bit overlooked are the trainers and the strength coaches and all that stuff. Just I think different people come in with experiences of like I know people who are like scared to death to talk to their athletic trainers just because they may not believe me or whatever. But like yeah, I would totally agree with you. Ours at Hope or even from my angle as the head coaching role of all of this, it's impressive just to see how much they are willing to do for the players and even us coaches if we really ask for it. So, no, that's great.
Mhm.
That's awesome. And I think, one big question too, I'm excited, like from my angle as where I've been your coach for the past 2 years, um, it's really cool to have you back as an assistant because I think like Nate and I have talked about this, like you're probably someone that just like gets how to do the coaching. Like, I don't know, just being like brand new at it. We've talked all the time, even when you were here as a player, just like he should probably just be a coach. Like at this point, and so I think with you being fresh, pretty much out of college, and like you were saying, you've been coaching at your high school. You did a stint with another college, and now you're back at Hope. I can't help but think that's gotta feel cool just coming right back, and now you get to kinda do it in the coaching role. But, now that you are, what would you say might be a loaded question, a tough one, but, like, as a coach, what are you most excited to I'm gonna use the word contribute to these teams, or, like, what do you wanna give to them based off of kinda like what you went through, if that makes sense?
Yeah. The big, yeah. I guess the biggest thing for me, I tried to do this in high school coaching too. I still coach a little bit of high school programs. It's just at the end of the day, I think we can get so, with any of our sports, we can get so focused on improving and grinding and just, spending hours and hours and hours a day trying to improve our game. And sometimes that can burn us out. And it can, take away from, why we really do the sport. Because at the end of the day, I think, especially, um, in our division, like we're here because we love the sport at the end of the day. Like we want to play. And I think just trying to help, you know, players, find that, especially like when they're having a tough day or um, struggling in a match, like, try the best you can to enjoy this, try the best you can to problem solve, enjoy the process of it, is the big thing for me. Um, I, my goal would always be like, if I have a high school player, I want them to love the sport for us in life. I want them to be a lifelong tennis player. Same thing with college tennis. I don't want you to be burned out at the end of it. I want you to, graduate from college and think to yourself, "Man, I wanna keep playing. I wanna join some leagues, like, make
Yeah.
some connections." That's the big thing for me. I just want people to love the sport, and love what they're doing.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. Yep. I think for so many, it's kind of common to kind of just want to wrap it up and be done for a very long time, and it takes forever to kind of rekindle that fire if you even want to get back into it. So, no, that's great. Um,
Yeah.
Overall, I didn't obviously go to Hope, but I don't know. Every time I talk to somebody, amazing things about it. Then just the more I'm obviously involved here, you learn more and more just how amazing it is and how really it sets itself apart from tons of different places out there. So, this was great. I think overall, you're an alumni, so this was awesome just to hear thoughts from you. But also, I'll see you tomorrow, bright and well, no, not Tuesday, bright and early. I'll see you at
Tuesday,
practice,
yeah.
and we'll get it going. But
Yeah.
I want to thank you for your time. This was awesome, dude, and thank you for being an alumni. Thanks for being supportive and coming back, my friend. So
Yeah, of course, I wouldn't, I love this program so much, and it's done so much for me, and I've seen it's done so much for others too. Um, yeah, yeah.
yeah, all right, dude. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.